Hello everyone, welcome back. Once again, we are back in my kitchen and we are making some jollof rice with some roast chicken. And these are the things you're gonna need. I'm gonna be using 4 cups of jasmine rice, tomato puree, chopped or plum tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, some stock powder, and some dried spices and herbs mixed together, some stock cube, onions, and any oil of your choice, guys, but I'm going to be using coconut oil. I also have here some ginger and pepper, but what I usually do is that I blend quite a lot of this. That would be about 8 peppers, onions, and some ginger, and then I add some tomatoes as well to help it blend without me having to add any water. So I usually blend a lot of them together into a nice smooth consistency like this, and then I just take the amount that I need for the day or the recipe that I'm cooking with, and I put the rest in like an ice cube tray, cover it up, and then I put it in my freezer and freeze it until the next times that I'm using it. Basically, it just makes life a whole lot easier. So I am going to be serving my rice with some roast chicken, and to do this I am going to boil my chicken first and to try and get some stock from it. Just roughly chop the onions into small pieces and also chop the rosemary as tiny as possible, and we're gonna put this aside. So here I have with me half of organic free-range chicken, and I'm going to add to it some stock powder. You can use stock cube if you have one. Add some onions, some rosemary, and some pepper and ginger blended together. I'm also going to rinse out some of the pepper from the blender to add to it, and then add some salt. Now be a little bit generous with this salt because we're going to add quite a lot of water to try and get our stock. And you can add cold water, it doesn't have to be boiled, guys, right? Just fill it to cover the chicken, or almost covering the chicken, and then we're gonna boil this for 45 minutes. So whilst we are waiting for the chicken to cook, we are going to start preparing things for our stew. And for our jollof rice, we are going to need some stew to make the jollof rice. So we're just going to roughly chop up some onions and some tomatoes, which we are going to be blending. You could also add your canned tomatoes to this, but because my blender is small, so I'm going to do it twice. This tomatoes is actually enough to cook about 6 to 8 cups of rice, but I'm only cooking 4 cups of rice this time. So when I finish making my stew, I'm going to remove some and I'm going to freeze it for the next time. I did move my chicken into a stock pot. So here we are now, our chicken is ready and our stock is ready. So I'm gonna just remove the chicken and I'm gonna put it in a roasting tray or bowl or whatever that you can put in your oven with. And here is the stock. I'm gonna also remove some of that oil you see right there. I am going to add some stock to the chicken just to keep it nice and moist as we are going to grill it later, just to give it some color. I'm going to start making the stew now, so I'm gonna put some oil in the pan, heat it up a bit, don't make it too hot, as we are going to toast some of our dried herbs and spices, just to get the aroma and the flavor, to waken them up. And we are going to go in with our tomato puree. I'm adding just about half of it there. So just as soon as you add your tomato puree, add some water to it or some stock, which I'm doing, just to stop the herbs from burning. So add some stock and stir, fry it for about a minute or two together like this. And then we are going to go in with our blended tomatoes and onions that we blended earlier. So add that. And then we are also going to go ahead and add some stock cube. I didn't add any more salt to the stew because there was enough of it in the stock and the stock cube that I added earlier. My stew is ready, and I'm not going to need all this tomato sauce. I'm going to put some aside for next time. Next time I don't have to do anything because I already have my sauce. Now, make sure to wash your rice until the water runs clear, and that's what I've done already. So to my stew, I'm going to go ahead, I'm gonna add my rice, and I'm going to stir everything in there. All right, I'm going to fry this for about a minute or two together, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a cup of stock. Basically, depending on what rice you're using, guys, just measure the water you need accordingly. I'm using jasmine rice, and jasmine rice does not require a lot of water as basmati rice, for example, does. All right, so I already have 1 cup of stock in there, and I'm adding 3 more cups of water. So I have 4 cups of liquid with my jasmine rice right there. So just stir everything together, and all we're going to do now is just cover it up, let it boil a little bit, and then we're gonna check up on it and kind of like check if it's doing okay. Make sure it's not sticking to the bottom basically at this point yet, all right, or else it's gonna start burning. And please don't put this on a high heat, a medium heat will do. So boil this until like it's almost kind of done. As you can see, it's not done yet, but it's still a little bit moist. So I'm just gonna stir everything together, and then I'm gonna cover this up. I'm not gonna disturb it too much again, and then leave it for about 15 minutes for it to completely cook on a low heat. So our rice is ready now, and we are going to serve it. Isn't that looking beautiful? This rice, guys, is really moist, and it's so easy for even toddlers to eat because it's not dry, or they don't have to chew on it so much because it's really nice and soft. I hope you guys like this video, and there are so many ways to make jollof rice, and guess what? We are going to be doing all of them. Well, try to cook all the different types of jollof rice you can have in my future videos. So please don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you like, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.